What's up, guys? My name is Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp. Welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a very, very exciting episode today. We have a lot of news going on in the market right now, a lot of plays that are just exploding right now, and we have a lot of stocks reporting earnings this week. So the stock market is going to be crazy this week, but there's going to be a lot of great opportunities. So, Tom, if you want to get started into some big stocks reporting earnings this week.
Yeah, the biggest sector that I'm really looking at that's reporting is going to be the oil sector. The stocks I'm really looking at are ExxonMobil, Chevron, and BP, and also Phillips 66. Those four stocks are going to report, and that could definitely drive the markets down if those stocks do turn negative based on what's happened with oil as of late. And if that does happen, obviously the S&P 500 will probably follow oil then at that point and end up going down. But we still have to look at all the other earnings coming out that could be good, like iRobot, AMD, 3M, UPS. Those companies could have a lot better potential this week.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you want to pull up a couple of those companies on your chart, maybe like iRobot or Caterpillar.
Yeah, there's Cat.
Yeah, so that could just give you guys a gauge. Another big thing to watch out for is Tesla is reporting earnings this week. You're going to see that all over the news and on news outlets like kind of like CNBC, Market Watch, investing.com, things like that. Tesla is one of those crazy stocks where when it moves big. So Tesla is one of those stocks where the options explode 400, 500, 600%. So that's something to keep in mind. Another stock that I'm looking at that can potentially go crazy is Vale, V-A-L-E. They're an oil company. And, with the whole oil going crazy time right now in the market, Vale is also one of those movers that really, really moves when it, has volatility. And its implied volatility is pretty cheap right now. So that can definitely be something to watch out for. And more specifically, I'd be looking at this for the downside. I like the Vale 8 puts for 619. That's doing pretty good. It is risky though. Anything with earnings is risky, even with Tesla. So Tom, what are your opinions on Tesla for their earnings and everything this week?
Yeah, with Tesla, I really am looking very forward to their earnings. I think that they're going to have fantastic earnings myself because everything with their electric trucks and the way that they deliver cars where they'll just deliver it straight to your house. Like you don't have to go to a dealership and deal with anybody, for example, like you would with Ford or with Chevrolet. And I think that Tesla is just going to really kill it on earnings with their new truck because obviously their truck sales had killed it the last time they had earnings. And I think they're still going to kill it this time. Like I don't think they've had any big setbacks other than that they've had to start to go ahead and make these respirators and stuff, but they're going to get compensated for that. So
yeah, so I'm going to take the opposite approach that you took this week. So I think Tesla is going to get killed on earnings, and anything with earnings is a straight gamble. But I think Tesla is going to get killed on earnings because a huge thing with Tesla earnings and just like their valuation is Tesla has always had a problem with production. The demand is there. People want to buy the cars. They have a lot of demand, but where they fall short is being able to produce enough cars to fulfill all the demand that they have. And I know their factories are shut down or at least partially shut down. And I think that's going to have a huge impact on their production. So I personally think that will make them go down. I think Tesla had a lot of momentum going into 2020, but this whole pandemic kind of screwed it up a little bit. So I also think their truck is already priced in, but we'll have to see. Anything with earnings is risky, and it's a coin flip at the end of the day. But I'm gonna be looking for Tesla on the downside.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mike. I totally agree with you with a lot of those points.
Yeah. So, Tom, initially had a bullish opinion. I initially had a bearish opinion. You guys decide what, stance you guys want to take. Just another thing I wanted to add is I saw, a lot of companies recently, even if they did report earnings, with the exception of like Abbott or like, a couple other ones, when they report positive earnings, we're not seeing like a skyrocket up. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
market's,
like with Intel.
yeah, like we're just not seeing anything crazy. It might be up a little bit. Like what was it? It was what was it? Abbott. Abbott. It was up, but it wasn't skyrocketing up. So even if Tesla does report good earnings, I don't think the options would pop as much as everyone's thinking. So because of that, I'm looking for the downside. Um, in terms of, well, Tom, did you have any other anything else with the earnings plays, or like anything with anything you were looking at for earnings? Because if not, I'm gonna get into some of the momentum plays for next week.
One more big earnings play that I was looking at was 3M. And 3M, they've been really getting into those contracts with the government right now with the face masks and everything. And their charts kind of starting to look really, really strong as of late. You can see they've kind of had this nice little downturn, like created a nice shoulder. And now they closed really strong on Friday, up around like 147. And if they do end up popping above like 150, I think they could easily pop up to, like 160 levels and fill this gap here.
So like what time frame are you thinking for that move?
I'm thinking, obviously, within the next few days, it's going to be with the earnings pop, because you're going to really look for them to pop on earnings because of how much they've gotten all these government contracts and everything that's been going on with the masks. And they also even get into respirators now. So,
Oh, gotcha. All right, yeah. So we'll see with that. So for the momentum plays for this week, there's there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the market this upcoming week to the upside and the downside. Look for earnings continuation plays. So guys, remember, you don't have to predict earnings the right way. Like with Tesla, me and Tom just gave both of our predictions. He said up, I said down, right? You guys can wait to the end and just wait until after they report earnings and just play the momentum after they report, and eliminate a lot of risk. That's another option. And you can do that with all these stocks that are about to report earnings. We have a lot of big companies this week. We have Alphabet, UPS, 3M, BP, Spotify, PayPal, Microsoft, Tesla, Facebook, Boeing, Blue Apron, McDonald's, Visa, Apple, Amazon, Twitter, Comcast, Cigna, ExxonMobil, and Chevron. There's a ton of big companies reporting this week, so there's going to be a lot of momentum overall, and you don't have to predict it before it happens. So you could always play the momentum afterwards. But for current momentum plays, W is one of them. So W is rocketing up pretty big. Has a lot of strong momentum up. I like it. I like it for a continuation play. Like I said, a continuation play. That does not just mean buy W right now or buy calls on W. It has to continue. How does it continue? It has to break the high that it had on Friday. So the high was about $123.76. So if it breaks above like 124 or something like that, then it's a good continuation play. Same thing with, Tilray. Tilray is a great continuation play too. Has a lot of momentum. That does not just mean buy it right now. It has a lot of momentum, a lot of good volume. If it breaks Friday's highs, then it's a good continuation play. Pinterest too. Pinterest also good volume, closing near highs. It's a good play. So I like those three for continuations, but only continuations. That does not just mean buy these on the open. Okay. Beyond had a good continuation last week. Amazon had a good continuation 2 weeks ago. Same thing with Netflix. So keep that in mind. Tom, did you have anything with these momentum plays?
yeah, I really like the play on Beyond and on Pinterest, because with Pinterest, obviously more people are on their phone right now, so that they're going to have a lot more exposure on their app, and they're going to have a lot more ad revenue coming in than usual. So,
Right. So for the unusual options activity for this video, the biggest one is the Boeing 120 puts that expire on May 1st, and they hit about $5 million in volume on this specific strike price. So I'm going to plot this real quick. I believe we talked about this in like Friday's video or Saturday's video, but just wanted to highlight it again. Boeing is looking pretty bearish on their chart right now. They also have earnings coming up. Their implied volatility is mid-ranged. The 120 puts look decent. They're a little bit out of the money, but we'll have to see. Just keep them on your radar. Boeing is also a continuation play. And another one would be C, 45 strike calls, but these ones expire a little further out, and they are for June 19th. June 19th, and their chart's pretty good too. I could definitely see someone buying these because they have more time. They're not too far out of the money. I do like this play. I do like the C45 calls 619 play. I believe that's a good hold for the next couple weeks. I do like that play. And then another one was the Vail 8-strike puts that expire on June 19th. These Vail 8-strike puts had a good amount of money into them. They were buying on Thursday and Friday. They were already uptrending. And, Vail has, fundamental factors that can make it fall because of this earnings week. So someone can pretty much be buying puts on this because of one, a technical reason. It's falling big, has strong volume, and then two, they have a fundamental reason to fall. So they have, the whole oil crisis catastrophe thing that can definitely make VALE fall. They do report earnings on 4/28 after market, so that's something to keep in mind. So those
And
are
I've
the
been seeing a whole bunch of articles coming out lately about the price of oil as well, with the oil companies reporting earnings and everything. They're really looking at it to rock the markets this week.
See, that's the thing. I think it's very weird how oil had that crazy move last week, but you take a look at Exxon and Mobil and even Chevron, and they're not moving like you think they would. You know what I mean? I think that's very weird.
Yeah, they stayed within a nice 6-point range over the past few weeks. It's kind of strange. Huh?
Yeah, I don't get why it's like that. I didn't even play it either way, but I just think it's very weird that oil has one of the biggest move it's ever had. It went negative this past week, and you see Chevron and ExxonMobil pretty much doing nothing. I just think it's
Yeah.
very weird. So we're gonna get into some frequently asked questions. One of them so this was in the Discord chat. If you guys want to join, it's the link in the description down below. Completely free. I call out free options day trades every single day. We have a ton of great people in the Discord. We're talking about stocks and finance every day. So if you want to join, it's free, and you could do that by clicking the link in the description down below. But someone asked a question about Amazon and Shopify credit spreads. So my thoughts on this is I do trade a lot of credit spreads. I trade credit spreads more than anything else. Amazon and Shopify, unfortunately, are two stocks that are hard to trade credit spreads on because the bid and ask between the what do you call it? What's it called, Tom?
The spread.
Yeah, the spread, exactly. So the spread is very, 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 very high on these stocks options. You could see the 600, or that's even the 600 put for Shopify for this week has a $170 spread. Some of these spreads are $400. So personally, if you could get a good fill on either of these, that would be good. But personally, and this is just me, guys, if I was going to trade any type of credit spread on Amazon or Shopify, they would be call credit spreads. And that's because, Amazon's already up so much, right? And the thing is, we've been seeing all these stocks, with earnings, they're not rocketing up. They're not, even if they have great earnings, they're not rocketing up. And that's just because how the market is right now. So that being said, I could definitely see Amazon, being up on earnings or even down, but I do not see them rocketing up. In that way, if you have a call credit spread on either of these, then you would win, So I like the call credit spreads. That's just me because either way, I do not see these companies rocketing up, okay? But the first thing you should focus on is getting filled at a decent price anyways.
I saw some decent news on Amazon on Friday. I heard that President Trump actually talked about he said something about reforming the U.S. Postal Service and he will not fund them if they do not start charging companies like Amazon more money to ship packages, kind of like how UPS charges like $10 and then USPS will charge like $3.50. He's
Mhm.
wanting them to raise those prices on companies like Amazon.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean that would be bad news. So yeah, that would just benefit the call credit spread. But you'd have to get filled first on either of these. I have done a ton of credit spreads in my trading career. That's like my bread and butter. I do these all the time. I haven't been doing them too much in this market, but in general, I do those all the time. And Amazon and Shopify are pretty hard to trade credit spreads on because their spreads are so big. So keep that in mind. So now on to the top comment of last podcast, and that was by Hunter. He said, "Awesome video, guys. Do you guys have any favorite breakout pattern, one that seems to work more than the rest for you, or your favorite to look/scan for?" Tom, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, definitely. My favorite breakout pattern is just a very nice continuation pattern where you have what they like to call a bullish flag setup. That's my favorite type of setup to trade as far as a nice continuation pattern goes. And I'll give you a nice example here on like Shopify's setup. So if I go ahead and I'm like, let's just say we saw Shopify shoot up, 3% this day and it hits a high of 500 a share. So we can just draw a nice resistance at 500 a share. Now all that I had to do is just watch, and then the next time that it breaks this $500 a share and it pops up above in pre-market, I would notice that, and then I'd get in right here at 505 and then ride that up right up to about 575, 560. And then you can see that it's just a very nice continuation pattern where it's just a nice stair step up, like it goes up and then it consolidates over for a couple of days. It doesn't really fall down. It just consolidates at the top and then ends up shooting through and breaking that high. And then that's whenever you'll get in, and then you'll ride that up. So you could get calls here, or you could just buy the stock straight up.
Yeah, so mine's very similar to that. What I like to do is I like to find like the hot stocks like W, Tilray, and the other one, which was Pinterest. And what I'll do is I'll just like write it down on a piece of paper on my desk and I'll just watch that throughout the day. So today's Sunday, right? I'll have W, PINS, and Tilray all written down on my desk, right? And then come Monday morning, I'll just be watching those stocks, and as long as they have momentum up for a continuation, then I'll play those. So pretty much it's just a very simple breakout pattern. It's kind of like what Tom said with the triangle, but mine is just a little bit more simple. It just works for me better. What I like to do is just if it breaks that high and has general momentum going up, I'll just play that. So there's no specific scan. You just kind of find the hot stocks either through news or CNBC or whatever, and then I just watch for the break over the high. So on to the next question. So let me go to. So Joe said, looking to sell the PayPal June 18th 110 put for next week. I like the new intro. Those are some scary losses. I am recovering from selling naked SPY puts on the same day they expired on March 20th when the SPY dropped by 14 bucks. That's when I learned the meaning of quad witching. So yeah, quad witching is definitely it's an important thing. Pretty much, guys, it's when you have like stocks, options, futures, like all expiring on the same day, and pretty much there's just a ton of volume going on. I'll get more in depth in it in another video, but yeah. So I do like how Joe does sell those naked puts. It's a really win-win. So basically, how it works is you take like PayPal for example, right? And like let's say you sold like a 110 put, and you go to the June 18th or June 19th, and the 110 put can go for about 400 bucks, right? And this is just an example. So as long as PayPal is above 110 by June 19th, then Joe keeps his 400 bucks. But if it's below that, if it's below 110, then Joe has to buy 100 shares of PayPal for $110 each. So it's a pretty good strategy. Let me see. With your robots, can you do credit spreads? This question was asked by Mike. Yes. Okay, got that. OB said, okay, thanks for addressing my question, and I never commented to any of the videos till now, but you guys are nailing it to make a comment for every video you make or every video I'm seeing after I started subscribing. And most importantly, you guys are inspiring us to invest. Awesome to hear. Miguel said, great learning experience, guys. Same thing has happened to me. Lesson learned, and indeed trading is a lot of work. Can you guys let me know your input in Abbott stock for next week? Tom, what are your thoughts on ABT?
Yeah, I'm really bullish on ABT considering how much how much news that they've had, especially with their 5-minute testing with the virus. But the thing is that they've hit a really solid resistance at $100 a share, and I'll be really looking for them to go ahead and break that. They did have decent earnings down here, but like you said, it didn't really affect them too much. It did end up popping up about $8 a share from those earnings, but $8 a share is not very much for a hot stock like Abbott, considering what they do with the virus right now. And I honestly, I don't see them going up through the roof too much this week, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me pull up an Abbott chart real quick. So ABT, yeah, I mean, their momentum is just kind of dying down right now. They already had earnings. If anything, I could see them moving in sympathy with like other stocks related to them. Right now, though, Abbott isn't like a huge mover in general, so I don't see any like momentum for them. But you know, a stock like let's say like a stock related to them reports great earnings or horrible earnings, I could see Abbott like moving in sympathy with them. So it's just kind of like I don't see any opportunity in it for my type of trading for the next upcoming week. So yeah, so I did want to thank everyone who commented on the last video. So that'd be Miguel, Gio, OB, Hunter, Ken, Jesse, Mike, Naveed, Mac, Joe, and Gio. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for commenting. It's helping grow the channel so much. So I just want to give a personalized thank you to all of you guys because the channel is doing very, very, very well this past week. So I just want to say thank you guys for that. Tom, did you have any last minute stocks, options, any last minute things to look at for this week?
No, I think that covers it. Just keep in mind, watch those Vail puts because those could really go haywire this week, considering what's going on with oil. So
right, yeah, and then Tesla's going to have a big move this, or if it's to the downside, I think it'll have a bigger move than if it's to the upside. So yeah, keep that in mind. And guys, if you want to join the Discord chat, it's in the description. The link is in the description. So feel free to join our chat. Free day trades alerts every single morning, and over 600 people to talk stocks with. So it's completely free. Feel free to join. But I just want to say thank you guys to everyone who comments, and don't forget to subscribe. So if you subscribe, pretty much you'll see these videos on your homepage completely automatically. You guys get free analysis, and we continue to grow the channel. So it's a total win-win. Thank you everyone who comments and subscribes. I just want to say thank you guys for watching.